start a debate with the chair. You know exactly what amounts? It amounts to a disorderly conduct. And the consequences are very clear. You're a person, you're a people. But that is a language that is allowable outside the doors of these chambers. As long as you're in this chamber, you shall refer to your colleagues as honorable senators. Kindly proceed. What is your point of order, Senator Bond?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, understanding order number 122, and Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to read, that speaks to disorderly conduct. Yes. Number 1B, a senator who declines to retract the use of unparliamentary language or declines to offer apologies despite having been ordered to do so by the Speaker is engaged in disorderly conduct. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be voted for by 300,000 people in Kakamega, and Mr. Speaker, I come here and be made a figure of the kind of picture that the Honorable Senator for Nairobi is painting. We need to call him on order unless, Mr. Speaker, you want to allow this House to degenerate into a fist fight. If you allow me as a bullfighter, I'll fix him here and now, and it will be sorted out. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Boni, that Senator Mogeni, have your seat. Senator Sifuna, have your seat. Sit down, Senator Sifuna. Senator Boni, that is unparliamentary. You have to withdraw it. Senator Sifuna, when I brought up the issue of how to address his colleagues, he proceeded to withdraw that. He did withdraw, unless you're not killed. Senator Boni, you were doing very well until you brought out your character of bullfighting.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Boni, you cannot threaten to fix honorable senators on the floor of this House. Kindly proceed to withdraw that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to confirm, as I withdraw and apologize to the House, that this is not the place to fix him, and I would never fix him in this House. But if he gives me an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, outside this House,
there, Senator
we cannot allow.
Just leave it there.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow small voice.
Senator Boni, have your seat. Now, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. We have such an important order to prosecute before us. We have such an important matter to prosecute before us. We are wasting a lot of time on what I will term, Senator Mogeni, you shut up, the chair is speaking. I have not given you the opportunity to speak. Senator Mogeni, you're out of order and I'm calling you to order. Then wait for the chair to give you that opportunity. You persist, you know exactly what will befall you. Now, honorable senators, we have such an important matter before us. We are taking a lot of time, seriously on frivolous, if I will say, points of order. Senator Sifuna, the way you're making your comments, you're inviting unnecessary points of order. You're making good points, but there's a way you can put them across without necessarily having to attract the kind of points of order. Stop throwing jabs. Go straight to your comments, make your comments, let's conclude this business. Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the avoidance of doubt, it gives me great pleasure to again withdraw my comments by referring to honorable senators as people. I withdraw and apologize. Mr. Speaker, what I want to make clear is that there is no point in us having a conversation in this particular house or debate in this house if we offend people's sensibilities, even when we are within the rules. Then we cannot have a debate because some people are uncomfortable when history is revisited. But let history judge all of us. I have no problem with that. The point that I was making, Mr. Speaker, is that all these lamentations lack of drugs or services in your county, when you had an opportunity to better the lot of your county, but you chose other things. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat here that you should not expect plaudits. You should not be expecting that people will praise you or say you are a good man because you've done something that you are required to do anyway, something that you are paid to do anyway. It's like us or myself here expecting that the people of Nairobi will clap for me because I came to the chamber this afternoon. That is exactly what I was elected to do. We were elected here to fight for all the resources that we can get to come to our counties. And when we do the opposite, we should learn to live with the decisions that we take. Let's not run away from the decisions that we've taken, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, here in Nairobi, we have issues that need to be addressed. And I just want to touch on some of them. Just this financial year, last financial year, Nairobi County was opening its first ICU. The entire Nairobi County did not have ICU beds, Mr. Speaker. We need resources for us to expand the facilities at Mama Lucy. And I have spoken to the question of timely disbursement of resources. The schedule here has two components. It has an amount and it also has a date. It is our expectation going forward, because this is a concern that has been expressed even by the committee itself. If you look at page 6 of the report, that the delays in disbursement to counties negatively impact the operations and service delivery as well as priority funding. Our governor here has set upon an ambitious plan of feeding kids in school, and it is costing us as a county about 800 million shillings per year. And Mr. Speaker, that is just for a fraction of the school-going children, because this amount that he is using for this particular program is only for the kids in public schools. A large majority, a large proportion of the students in Nairobi are not in public schools. They are in what we call semi-formal schools. And we would want an opportunity that this program expands. In fact, there's people who've gone to court to say it is discriminatory for you to have such a program to benefit only people in public schools, yet a vast majority of the students are not in those particular schools. They are in non-formal schools. Mr. Speaker, we have county playgrounds here in Nairobi. We have a lot of talent. Just like I was saying earlier to you, I was at Moi Forces Academy this afternoon for the Kenya Primary Sports Association Games to determine the team that will represent Nairobi in the national games in Kisumu. There is a lot of talent in Nairobi, but we don't even have proper playing grounds. If you go to Camp Toyoyo, a pitch that was built a few years ago, it used to host all the games that were being played pale mtaani. But Mr. Speaker, if you look at the playing surface right now, it is in such bad shape that we need all the resources we can get for us to be able to provide proper facilities. The governor, out of the money that the county is receiving this particular year, has set aside about 500 million shillings for the refurbishment of City Stadium. And the shame of this country, I have seen people going around saying, we're going to bid to host African Cup of Nations, I don't know which year it is. You know for a fact you are lying to Kenyans. You don't have the facilities to do these things. If Kenyans elected truthful leaders who kept their word, we would be enjoying the 6th stadium that we were promised in 2013. But right now, we are just wallowing in this miasma, people lying to us that we're going to host continental games when every Kenyan knows it is not going to happen. Mr. Speaker, out of my experience in the Parliamentary Accounts Committee, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Yes.
Would you wish to be informed by...
Absolutely never. Absolutely never. Mr. Speaker, one of the things we experienced in the Parliamentary Accounts Committee, when we had a conversation...
What is the point of order, Senator Chiragio?
Mr. Speaker, I'm rising under Standing Order 101 and 105 because the senator, is it in order for Senator Sifuna to indicate that this country has never hosted a continental event, sports event. Yet Kipchoge Keino Classic was done in Eldoret, and also several, it was done, all African Games was done here, the athletics was done here in Kasarani. Is it in order for him to mislead the great people of Nairobi and Kenyans by alleging that this country has never hosted or held, Mr. Speaker, the events. Is it in order?
Order. Senator,
And World Rally Championship, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chirangei, when your colleagues are speaking, it's good to pay attention. So that when you raise on a point of order, you raise on a point of order on the speech that they've made. I do not see how your point of order is warranted as far as the speech by Senator Sifuna is saying. He never, I did not, unless the Hansard bears as witness, I did not hear him say that as a country we have not hosted continental events. He alluded to just one event that as a country would wish to host. That is the AFCON. Okay? And he said, with the state of infrastructure we have, we may not be able to do that. But we could have been able to do that had we started this journey in 2013. That's what I got to understand from the Honorable Senator. Senator Sifuna, what is the point of order, Morgan?
Mr. Speaker, Senator Cheragay is one of my closest friends in this House. And he's a
Senator Mogeni,
He's a colleague.
whom are you trying to...